Welcome back to Conquest MP, the server you can make a country or do some various other interesting things. The last 2 episodes have been very chaotic. The second one is from 3 episodes ago. It was recorded before I built the flower garden and everything. The first episode is only from 1 episode ago, but is actually the most recent in chronological order. That makes no sense whatsoever. And what happened to the war? Yeah, I might have known at one point, but I don't know now. It just kind of ended, and absolutely nothing happened. Perhaps that was just because of all of the chaotic things with the upload schedule. I don't know, maybe my YouTube videos caused the entire world to fall apart in like a black hole or something. But, you know, we've got this nice city with this nice tree. And this, by the way, what does this mean? Does anyone know? 2-hour Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday? I can't tell what that means, but I've been seeing these everywhere. There was some here, it even said become the mountain. Like, huh? How do you become a mountain? Some things on this server confuse me, but you know what doesn't confuse me? Flowers. No questions need to be asked about flowers, because everyone knows that they're just quite nice. These flowers took me a long time. In fact, they took me so long that I could not finish all of the things I wanted to do. One thing that got cut from the last video was building this tree. This is meant to be a tree, but currently is just a cobblestone pillar. Now, a few months ago, this is probably the best tree that I could try to create. I couldn't do anything better than this, but I tried a few designs and I figured out a tree that works. However, to understand a good tree, you must also understand a bad tree. Observe behind me this tree, which has always been standing here in the city for a very long time, and you've probably seen it in the background of every single one of my videos. Now, it's kind of alright, it fits in the area decently, but it's just kind of off. The proportions are wrong, the leaves are poorly placed together, and it has been relentlessly griefed by ravagers and people coming here over the centuries, and there is even a chicken there. This is an example of a tree that I don't want to build. It's kind of chaotic, it doesn't work right, and it sort of just looks goofy. So today, as we build this much smaller tree, we're going to try to avoid all of these things and make something that actually does look like a tree. So I will now, in quotes of most people on the internet now, quit the yap and start building a nice tree. Wow, look at that tree, isn't it so beautiful? A few minutes ago I had quite a few things to say about this, but turns out I didn't hit record, so you'll just have to get my abbreviated post-commentary. I would describe this tree as looking kind of like an upside-down apple on a stick. You can see there's the stick and there's the apple. I tried to base it off of bdubs trees, because I'm sure you've seen bdubs before, and he is recognized as a master of building trees. The way he does it is he makes little spheres and makes a big canopy out of it and then removes the inside, because the inside of course doesn't get any sun, so there's no leaves in there. I kind of did it with just one giant sphere though, and I think it looks pretty good for this scale, except from this angle. Yeah, I didn't actually ever look at it from this angle because there was a building here in my creative world, so this is the only angle that looks bad. Everything else though just looks really nice. This is what it looks like from more far away. It kind of blends in with the background, but when there's going to be a big palace back there, it'll stand out more. Also, look at this neat little curves in it, so cool. That's another bdubs thing. I also want to comment that the shading with 30 brightness, because that's what bdubs uses, makes this look so nice. Like, you can just chill here, have some lemonade on a hot summer's day, and it would be perfect. Overall, I would say this is probably the best tree I've ever made in my life, and I might never make one that's better than it. However, we are not going to spend all our time today building trees. No, we have bigger things to do. Namely, fill in this square. A few episodes ago, I made this little square, and I didn't say what I was going to put in there, but what am I going to put in there? Well, it is going to be a church. But why would I build a church in this little flower garden? Well, behind me will be the biggest palace I have ever made in Minecraft, and in real life, there would be hundreds of people living in this palace, doing all the chores, cooking, cleaning, you know, putting on shows for the guests, I don't know. And all those people need a place to go to church, and what better place than right here. This church is going to be a very odd church, perhaps the most unique church that I've ever built before. It is based off this one, which I saw in a video one day and was like, dang, you know, I think I could build that in Minecraft. It might kind of contrast with the super bright flowers and also super bright colored palace, and cause yeah, it's gonna be made out of dark oak, did I mention that? Yeah, it's gonna be completely black inside literally the most colorful area on the server. So it might contrast a little bit, but that's how I like to do things here, so let's build this beautiful building with a time lapse. Take a look at this dark and imposing building. This is the pinnacle of Minecraft building. I had to use all of the tricks that I had up my sleeve to build this thing. You can see there's some slight texturing at the bottom, which we did on a dark oak building in the city. You can also see those onions up there. I call them onions, but they're really just domes in a really weird shape, and that's like kind of the Russian tradition. I don't know why they do it that way, but they build these little onion-shaped domes, and making them really small is very, very difficult. The bigger ones are kind of easy because you can use full blocks. Up there you can see it has a bit of an onion shape, but these ones that are much smaller are very, very hard to make. This particular design of dome I found on a random Minecraft server as I was walking around. It wasn't on a church, it wasn't even meant to be a dome, but I saw someone using it on top of like this old abandoned tower, and I was like, dang, it's just like, it's so perfect, because from the ground it just looks like a perfect little sphere dome thing. If you look at it from higher up though, it kind of loses the illusion because you can see that it's kind of flat. But from most angles, it looks pretty much perfect. I'm sure that you can see a slight resemblance to that other church that I put up on screen a while ago. It has a total of 9 domes up there, and they're kind of in that multi-layered, staggered, circle-y pattern. I don't know how to describe it. Sort of just a big complex bunch of domes up at the top, and the sides are pretty simple. In the actual thing, it had way more complex sides, but these were the best I could do in this scale. The shape took a really long time to make, because you have these bits that come out here, and then these little towers inside. I tried like 100 different variations of this. I tried some where the towers were coming out and it was kind of like an X shape. I tried some where there weren't any. I tried some where it was a circle. I tried some where it would like make a plus shape. I don't know how to describe it, but it would be like if the entire building was shaped like this. I tried so many things and it took a long time, but eventually I landed on this where it just comes in slightly, or more so comes out in the middle, to have that little onion enough space. But what is this majestic building called? Well, it's called Church of the yeah, I couldn't think of a name, so I just put here. Moving on to the inside, we have this little, I think this place is called the porch. I could be completely wrong though, I just made that up from memory. But if you come in here, wow, it's so much more colorful. There were supposed to be paintings here that I forgot about, because did you know that schematics don't register paintings or item frames as in the block count? Yeah, so they're just missing. Well, we do have these paintings made out of blocks on the sides. As you can see, they're very nice. And I used a frog light up there for some lighting, because those domes often are quite dark since they only have windows below them. Do you know that frog lights are really expensive? I knew that, because they took me a really long time to get. Now this interior, although it looks cool, it does not look anything like any of the other churches I've built on the server. Well, the reason why it looks this weird is because sometimes I am not very smart. I built this giant cathedral, which is in the same style as the other one, except made out of brick, and it's perhaps a newer cathedral. There is a beautiful interior, and with lots of paintings and lots of gold and lots of frog lights, which are also expensive, and little chandeliers and a huge painting up at the top, and this beautiful thing in the background. Now, when I built this like 7 months ago, I didn't actually know anything about what are inside these churches, because if you didn't know, I'm not Russian, and I don't live in Russia, and I've never been to Russia. So I didn't actually know what things would go in here, but it turns out, for one thing, they don't have chairs. It really confused me when I first learned that. I thought, like, oh, of course everyone would sit down, right? I mean, if you're there for like an hour and a half, surely you would sit down, right? No. I once heard this one Russian guy complaining about how people who sit in chairs are heretics. So apparently, these are not how you're supposed to put things here. Also, this big gold thing behind me is, well, at first I didn't have any idea what it could possibly be, so I just built some gold things there, and now that I look back at it, it doesn't even look amazing. This is what's called a screen, I think. I could be getting this all wrong, by the way. Like I said, I'm not Russian, but the priest will go through this door, and this will be where I think, like, the Bible is stored or something? I'm not sure, but he'll go like, and come in here, and of course it was saying it all in, like, Old Greek or something, because that's, like, their equivalent of Latin. And then this, I don't even know what this is, to be honest. I just put it there, and it doesn't even look very good either. So all of this, everything in here, is just completely wrong. But it's too much effort to fix it all, so I'm going to leave it here for now. So in this church and other Russian-style churches I've built in recent times, I've tried to make them more realistic. First of all, they don't have any chairs. Second of all, they have these little podiums, which I see in some churches. I don't know what they are for, but this one might include some kind of book, I don't know. And we do have this real screen with a real little area, and this, I believe, is where the Bible would be put. And there's, you know, some little decorations and paintings still. It's kind of about the same, but much more realistic. It's also really convenient, because you could probably only fit 3 chairs in here anyway. So obviously this very unique building looks super cool on its own, but as you can see, it's kind of not well placed in the landscape. You see how it blends with this grass? You can't see it because it doesn't blend. It just doesn't go right, and none of this is filled in, and there's not a path here. So we're going to need to do that right now. Wow, doesn't that look so much better? Yeah, I didn't really do anything. Yet somehow, this took me 40 minutes. There's like this little path here that leads to this little spot with a statue of someone. I don't know, it's literally just 2 blocks with a lantern on top of it. But you could assume that this is like the back spot, you know, where you'd go to, like, I don't know, pray or something and overlook the water. I tried to make this path not look like it was abandoned, because, you know, there's these little tall weeds, but you just have to assume that it's, like, less upkept because it's kind of behind everything. And somehow these 15 blocks took me forever to place down. But we're not done here yet, no, we have one last thing to do. For there is another square, or shall I say, a circle, right here, that is yet to be filled in. When I was in Japan, I saw these rocks with words carved on them, and they were just like huge rocks, like you know, 6 feet tall, with a bunch of words in old Japanese, and I couldn't read it, and no one who I was with could read it. And I just thought, wow, like a rock with words on it? I think that's so cool. So I thought, you know, wouldn't it be cool to make some rocks with words on them? Like, I don't know, some kind of ancient phrase. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but you will see in just a moment, because I'm going to build it in Minecraft. See, this is what I meant. Big rocks with words on them. Except I didn't write down the words because I couldn't think of any. Maybe eventually I'll come up with something to write down on these rocks, but for now it's just a weird variety of Stonehenge. I think it looks kinda cool though. And it's in this nice secluded area, which is rare in this place because there's so much stuff going on. You can still kinda see outside into the world, but I put some effort into making this area kind of secluded. Makes you just want to sit here and relax after a long, hard day of building in Minecraft. If you know me, you know I'm lazy, and everything you just saw is from a long time ago because I'm lazy and I didn't want to edit the video, and so I put it off until now. Guess what? I'm sick again. I was sick like a week ago, and then I got unsick, and now I'm sick again and I can barely speak. So yeah, that's all for this video. It's long enough already. We built a cool building, we built a cool tree, and that's about it. There will be big things coming in the next episode, so just you wait. Hey, did I ever mention that you could join the server if you click the link in the description? Yeah, that's right, you can, so you should do that right now, and then you won't have to put up with my terrible voice anymore. Give me some pity subscribes, please. Okay, goodbye.